Welcome to the Downtown, brought to you by Arlington Citizen Media. I am Daryl Smith Jr., and across the internet from me is...
I am Rody John, and across the interwebs from me is...
Amy. On today's show, we talked to Flash Newman. I've been teasing this interview for so long. He is one of these people that went from down and out homeless to a home. He is inspirational, a musician. We have a song coming up for you. You got
A first for Arlington Citizen Media. First live performance.
Yep.
You've certainly had so many musicians. I'm very surprised at our first live.
Well, we were in the library for a while. It was a little hard to be like, come on in and rock out, man. The library would be like, shh.
Right. No shush now. Now we have live performances.
Yes.
Who else to talk to?
We are also talking to Matt Taylor, the GM of the Dallas Fuel, about the new faces on the Dallas Fuel team, from players to coaches, and what it's going to take to bring a championship home to Team Envy.
What is it going to take? You know what? We'll listen to the interview. We'll listen to the interview.
That GM, he'll tell you. He's got an amazing Scottish accent. It's fantastic. He's very nice. Gave me a tour of the Team Envy headquarters, which is in Victory Park or Plaza, that whole over there. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I saw it when it was under construction. Now it's, for the most part, under construction, and it looks fantastic. They're still working on it, obviously. Everything's still under construction.
Everything's under construction. We live in the Metroplex. The 30's been under construction the entire time I've been alive.
Me too.
So.
And as long as I've lived here. You guys been up to anything?
No. We had a COVID scare here, so luckily no one but my daughter, my oldest daughter, got COVID. She was fine. She just lost her sense of smell. Didn't even lose her sense of taste, which is, I guess if you got to lose one, I'd rather lose my sense of smell than my sense of taste. But
that's true. She's
fine, no fever, nothing like that, so she's good, and we were all tested negative.
Very nice.
That was fun. So we stayed home, and we're continuing to stay home.
Excellent work. How about you, Rody?
I spent New Year's Eve at Division celebrating their anniversary. Wonderful beer, and they were giving out the mugs, which are like camper little coffee mugs.
Oh, cute. And
they also had chili, which I didn't realize. Dylan was like, "You want chili in that?" I was like, "Yes, I do." So,
awesome.
Yeah.
Dylan is great.
Dylan's fantastic.
Shout out to Dylan Powers.
Boom. And then I hosted the open mic at Grounds and Gold, not Inclusion. I got to work with Inclusion to try to get them to do an open mic. Mm-hmm. Fingers crossed that'll happen. And also a barista battle. We got to definitely work on him. And then
barista battle.
I love this idea. Mm-hmm. Instead of our pizza thing, let's do barista battle 2021.
Well, I know that Maurice from Grounds and Gold wanted to do it because Inclusion has a Slayer machine and Grounds of Gold has a Slayer machine, which is not just an awesome band. It is also a apparently great coffee maker. So
I have no idea what you're talking about, but it sounds good.
Yeah. I don't know enough about coffee to make a rain in blood joke, so never mind.
But the next open mic at Grounds and Gold, which I will not be at, is on the 14th. I will not be there because I will be at Legal Draft for Pele Pro Wrestling's debut show, which is going to be absolutely amazing. Local talent.
Listen to that interview a couple episodes back.
Yes.
Get all the details there.
Yep.
Yeah. Awesome work, Brody.
Yeah. What did you get up to, Amy?
I've done nothing. We were also just worried about COVID. So we order in and stay home and work from home, and we're lucky to be able to do that.
Yes. You did have Samurai...
Again.
Yes.
Yes, last night. Again, of course, I love Samurai. Every time their food is amazing. Best noodles ever.
Oh, I love it.
Best noodles ever.
Ever. In the entire history of everything.
Well, we are here with Flash Newman. This is an amazing story. I met Flash actually on my way to record a podcast one morning early.
He was playing guitar outside of a QT, I believe on Collins. He was homeless. But as I walked in, I heard the music, and I went, man, like, he's really good. So I went in, I purchased my items, I came out, I sat, listened, gave him some money, and I said, you sound incredible. What are you doing out here? You said you're waiting to be blessed by God. I gave you a hug. You noticed my shirt said Arlington Citizen Media, so you looked us up, sent me a message. We've stayed in touch. I followed your story. And today you have a home, new guitar, a job. It is incredible. Just really great. And you've been a fixture in Arlington for years. You have a large following on social media, a lot of Facebook friends who have watched your story. What is your connection to Arlington?
My parents.
Okay, so you were born here.
No, I was born in Amarillo.
Okay.
Then what?
My parents moved here about 40 years ago.
Okay.
And lived in southeast Arlington. So Thanksgiving was here every year.
Right.
Right. Like 30 people from everywhere. You know?
So who is Flash Newman?
Kevin Walker.
Okay.
I love it.
So who's Kevin Walker then?
Yeah.
I had a history of being in sales.
Mm-hmm.
And I was a director of sales for a large rare coin company in Beaumont, Texas. And kind of built an institution there. Mm-hmm. So we had a congressman write us a letter thanking us for the economic stimulus in the area because of our salespeople spending money.
Right.
So anyway, I went through a divorce, went through a bad breakup with my partners, and life took a turn. Mm-hmm. And I checked out for about 15 years.
Wow.
I lived 12 years without TV. It was 4 years after the Boston Marathon bombing that I found out it happened.
Wow.
Right. Wow.
It was just me and the Lord, pretty much. A lot of things happened. Pretty traumatic for a man in his mid-40s.
Right, I can imagine.
So anyway, I'm 59.
Right.
I'll be 60 in February. So I look good for 60.
You look really good for 60, yeah.
I was like, wow.
Not a lot of people know my age, but I guess they do now.
Yeah, I know. Everybody
Public
that
knowledge
listens.
now.
Yeah. Cat's out of the bag.
Yeah. Anyway.
So, Amy said you played guitar. What brought you to that? What brought you to the guitar? What drew you to it?
I had an uncle.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Me too. That's kind of how I got into it.
I got it. I picked it up at 8. Mm-hmm. And he showed me a G chord and a great big Gibson guitar.
Right.
And I marveled at how it was wood and steel.
Yeah.
I'm an 8-year-old, right?
Mm-hmm.
I marveled at how it was wood and steel, and you could do this. It had to be from God.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
As an 8-year-old, that was like, wow.
Yeah.
Music, different notes.
Right.
So I'm self-taught.
Me too.
Completely self-taught. I like to say I'm a member of the Beatles. Just fast forward.
Yeah. Where do you find, the inspiration when you write? Do you write your own music? Do you write? Okay, so where do you find the inspiration for that?
It's normally just a hook. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. When you get a good hook, as a songwriter, you live your life looking for great hooks.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote a song once about a girl named Lucky, and the title of the song is I'm Not Feeling Lucky Anymore. That's a good hook.
It really is. So your life story has been harsh. It's difficult for a lot of people to understand. But you've always been so positive. You even lend your own emotional effort to other people going through hard times. How do you maintain that level of positivity?
I taught it for about 20 years.
Mm.
I taught how to think positive to salespeople.
Wow.
For 20 years.
Right.
And I cared about that as passionately as I do about the person giving me a tip in front of Quick Trip.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it worked. What I taught worked. It's funny that I was teaching people to put your thoughts in a jail cell. Cut them. The truth to yourself is the key. Mm-hmm. Cut that with a big razor blade that you wouldn't stand on. It'll cut you.
Right.
Cut the truth to yourself. And if you're thinking negative, throw it out. Mm-hmm. Well, about 2 years later, I found a scripture that said, hold your thoughts captive for the renewing of your mind.
The exact same thing.
I was God's own boy that day, man. I've been teaching this stuff for 2 years, right? So anyway, good to see y'all.
Hey, it's good to see you.
I haven't been out of Sour Lake, Texas
Yeah, I was just about to say, you said you journeyed quite a while to get here, which we really appreciate.
Well, this is home to me.
Right.
That's
So
good.
I have a lot of friends here in Dallas, in Fort Worth, and Arlington.
Yeah, just DFW in the
Arlington Knights, David Conan.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's
What a
great friend of
man.
ours. Yeah.
Okay.
Saw him the
David,
other
shout
day.
out to you, buddy.
Yeah.
I love you.
We've had him on the show several times. We'll have him on again.
Definitely have him on
They're
again.
on the board.
We are on the board. of
Oh,
Arlington
really?
Knights. Yeah.
I love what Arlington's done around the stadiums.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that area.
Right.
I was homeless down there.
Yeah.
Right.
I spent a couple of nights roaming that, sleeping in the park. So,
Yeah. It is. I want to ask you, just because homelessness is it's an issue people don't want to talk about, right? There is an element of turning away
yeah.
when we should be looking at it and being compassionate. What do you think would help the most in the homeless community? There's a lot of different solutions people throw out.
First off, to understand these people are scared.
Right.
Have you ever been scared in life, like really scared?
I think most people haven't been truly
Right.
terrified.
And so you get extremely scared. When you see a homeless person in Deep Ellum, for instance, he's got, and I did too, he's got his luggage on a cart because we're good people. I think there's a discrimination for economic condition in this country, and almost to the point of there should be an amendment to the Constitution for it, to not discriminate against economic condition, because we do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Number two, I think there ought to be facilities in large metro areas so that you wake up with somewhere to go to the bathroom, not being a customer of anyone,
Right.
which is the strangest rule I've ever seen.
Agreed.
If you're not a customer, you can't do a natural, godly, bodily function that you're required to do.
Yeah. It's obscene.
And it's because we worked out of the fear of the junkies getting in the bathroom, but they're not doing that. It's not happening, and you could let people use your facilities. If you're listening to this, please.
Yeah.
The other thing is understand the difference in busking and loitering.
Yeah.
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 I was earning a living without a tip jar. I never asked anybody for a dime. Did you ever see a tip jar around me?
No, I handed you the money right to
And
your...
people interrupted me and paid me between $100 and $200 a day at times, being homeless. So I was earning a living. I was clean. I was clean shaven.
Yeah.
But it's scary. You lose that suitcase. Pretty soon you've hid it somewhere because it's too heavy in this heat.
Yeah.
But there's good people in this area. Arlington especially tipped. Dallas didn't tip. Fort Worth just stole everything you had.
Wow.
That's interesting that you say that about the city of Arlington. I drive home every day, from work, and there's a gentleman who stands, looking for help, and his sign says so. And you see people help, and I guess I had never really thought about that about the city of Arlington. But once you say that,
They interrupted me and gave me a life. They fed me, the people of Arlington.
Yeah.
I'll never forget the people of Southeast Arlington and far west, Bowen Road, Northwest Arlington, the generosity of those people. What I will say is kind of a PSA is there's some management people behind those counters that really need to learn the definition of busking and loitering.
Yeah.
Because I was literally feeding myself with an art, and we're protected by our constitutional rights that we can display our art. It's illegal for them to confiscate my instrument, and it's been held up in the Supreme Court over and over and over. There is a clinical definition to busking and one to loitering.
Right.
And these 22-year-old managers treat you like you're a dog.
Yeah.
Worse than a dog. I felt the spirit of them, and you're down. And I asked a Red Bull driver, "Did you feel that?" And he said, "Yeah, I sure did, sir. God bless you." From this little clerk,
Yeah.
right? And I'm trying to feed myself. And if I would have been a stray dog, I would have got fed, watered, and hugged a whole lot.
Yeah. And
within
we're
the
talking
first
about
hour.
a person, like
And
right.
it's policy over people in those places.
Right.
And super convenience stores should get on board with helping the homeless. They have clean restrooms. They're always policed. You can go there. They got great coffee. They're generous people. Like Quick Trip, Racetrack should get on board.
I agree.
Yeah,
And they should promote that. And it's not because they got to run ads, because they're afraid of having to do job of booking.
Right.
No, I'm just talking about the difference. Run everybody off unless it's the difference between eating and not eating, and you can see that.
Right, they see these people on a regular basis. It's not like they don't know who they are, why they're
but
there, how
they
they're
don't
there.
want people setting up with speakers and
Right,
coming in, and then they have, and all. It was just an acoustic deal. I didn't ask anybody for a dime.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you're a busker in this area, don't put your tip jar out at Quick Trip. Those people, some of them have real compassion, and just play, and the people pumping gas will love it if you're good.
Yeah.
You can't go out there and suck.
Right.
No, you were excellent. That's why I stopped. I mean, it was incredibly good music. Actually, one of our good friends, Kim Feel, she's done a lot of
Hey,
advocacy
can you
work
give me some of that water?
for busking. Here, I can get it. She's done a lot of advocacy work for busking in this area because I think Dallas does have busking laws where you can do it in certain areas.
Yeah, well,
and Arlington just didn't have that kind of ordinance yet. So
Well,
she's
Arlington did have where you weren't required to have a permit.
Okay.
It's on the books in Arlington, as I've heard it.
Yeah,
That
me
you
too.
are not required to have a permit as a busker.
Yeah.
And the main thing is I'm in the spirit of love here.
Right.
Let me take a drink.
We should offer.
I know we are.
Oh, y'all, I'm real people. We got caught up in it,
Yeah.
and it's good. Arlington should get on board. They should, as a downtown, that's this show, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Arlington should listen and get on board. Quick, the convenience store chains could really make being a humanitarian effort profitable as an angle for their marketing. That's my point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had never really thought about that, but you're absolutely right. It feels like
Nurture it, don't
right.
milk it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it would be good for them, obviously, but good for people in general to have that sort of place where you could go to do the things that you need to do, or like you were doing.
Well, have you ever woke up in the morning and had to go to the bathroom? That's
Absolutely.
the first question.
Yeah.
Has anybody ever done that? Okay, well, imagine a parking lot in downtown Dallas, Texas, next to Deep Ellum. There's a few dumpsters that you're walking in, the most amazing, waking up to go to the bathroom because you're not a customer of anyone. And it doesn't matter if it's 15 degrees.
Yeah.
I tell people, buy some cheap blankets, throw them in your back seat, right? And when you see a homeless person, it gets cold out there.
Yeah.
When I would tell somebody how long, another homeless, when I would tell them how long I had been homeless, they would go, "Oh my God, that's 2 winters." It's really bad out there. I've had a traffic sign up against an exhaust heat unit behind a racetrack to get warm, and then had to get out because it exhausted about every 3 minutes, the fumes. But it was so hot air coming out, it was that cold.
Yeah.
My story's amazing, but I got to write the book.
You should.
Yeah.
On the day in,
Absolutely.
day out of it, the book is going to be a blockbuster.
Yeah.
you
I
should.
mean, this is a story about perseverance.
It's not
and
negative.
faith.
No.
It's not negative. It's out of the testimony to God. My faith is in Jesus Christ. And I was saved in 1993 on June 19th.
That's great.
About 11:50 a.m. And that was a Saturday, and it was raining.
Right.
So I know where I'm at there, and that's the only reason I'm here today.
Well, we are glad that you are.
Yes.
Thank you.
It's a testimonial, truly.
Thank you.
We have a fun question.
We do have a fun question. I know that you've recently been back on your feet and you're not even in this area anymore, but when you were here, did you ever get to eat at a pizza place? Do you have a favorite pizza place around here?
They're all good.
They're all good. That's fair. They are all good. That's what we've learned, actually.
Yes.
They're
And
all
honestly,
good.
asking that kind of question, it's a privilege to get to choose.
It
Thank
really
you.
is. That's fair. And
Thank
I guess
you.
the
I'll say this about
perspective-
Chicken Express.
Yeah.
All right, as far as homeless, I'm going to put this out there, man. Those are good people. Go by there, go by the drive-through window, politely ask to talk to the manager, and just tell them what your situation is, and at about 10:30 they'll have you some food.
Wow.
You know, because they have to throw everything out.
Of course.
And, you know, they always...
You mean for breakfast or at
Well, no,
night?
I mean
At
at
night.
night,
Oh, okay.
10:30 p.m.
Okay.
Haven't eaten in a couple days, right? Or one day or whatever. But it's time to eat
Yeah.
at 10:30 p.m.
Yeah.
It's another thing you don't really think. I mean, like you said, that we're coming from this place of privilege where you don't really think about that. But
Oh, it's a discrimination. You're talking about a place of privilege, and nobody can help it because they haven't been there.
right.
Yeah.
So we just got to educate,
It's true.
Well,
right?
that's why we wanted to have you on. You know, I happened to mention to both of them, hey, you remember that time when I showed up to record and I was telling you about Flash and everything? They said, yeah. I was like, you won't believe this. Like, he's completely on his feet, working, new instrument.
I hired a guy when he was like 19 or 20 named Trey Cox. And Trey stayed with me as one of my salespeople to promote up into numismatic study and dealing with the market of sales of numismatic coins. And he's an incredible man. His name is Stellar. He has his own gig now. And I kind of got screwed out of I lost $50 million
Wow.
in my life. And there's not many people have done that.
Right.
But with the exponentiality of it all, my income, what I lost is about $50 million. So, and I had 236 employees. You know, we did $100 million a year in coin sales.
Wow.
Trey was my buyer and seller, and then now he has his own company, and we're about 5 people.
Okay,
And
so
it's
he brought
so
you back
cool.
on.
And he hired me out of Dallas when I became extremely non-essential with COVID.
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
I was
that's
non-essential before COVID, so I'm happy to see it. Everybody's had to humble themselves.
Yes.
great. Yeah.
I mean, as a guy of God and a guy that has lived through the pandemic on the streets and been saved, COVID was a good thing for us. We got further apart and became closer together.
Yeah.
And that's only something God could do.
Right.
Yeah, that we've talked about that a lot of times on the show, just the reimagining of the way that people do business, the way we interact with each other, the way that
People love each other a little more because they've had to expose their own vulnerabilities on social media. Social media is like high school sometimes.
It is.
Because you're exposed, you know? You're exposed to friendship, and to love you must become vulnerable. I learned something from watching The Voice this year about my own music. If vulnerability is not heard in music, it's not believed.
Right. Because it's just
You know,
practiced and
I learned that from those guys on The Voice, watching them commentate. Ryan Berg from Dallas was on The Voice this year,
Okay.
and he's off now, but we're very proud of Ryan Berg. He's a superstar in the making. That Dallas music scene is a very legendary one, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in history, it'll go down like a Haight-Ashbury or that Deep Ellum music scene
Right.
is really cool down there.
and
Great
here
people.
too. Here
And
in
I'm
Arlington.
not trying to pitch Dallas.
Oh, I know.
Arlington's better.
Okay, I'm just telling people this area is
Yeah.
Arlington, was always home to me. But let's not pretend people don't know that we've got Fort Worth and
Right.
Dallas
Yeah, yeah.
on
Right.
the others. That's part of the whole good thing about it.
Right.
And Arlington's right in the middle. So, you can't get any better than Arlington to live, really.
It's true.
I don't
We
think.
fully agree.
Absolutely.
So
we
there's
love
your
this
plug
city.
for Arlington.
Thank you. Well, Flash, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Want to have him play a song?
Yeah,
or-
thank you so much for joining us.
I get to play a song?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
go ahead.
let's do it.
That's
If
cool.
you want to do it, I'd love to.
Taylor
hear it.
Guitar. Talk about a good company.
It is.
Yeah, Taylor's my
I
favorite.
bought a new guitar, and then they custom made me this gig bag because they don't sell them
Really?
to fit my guitar. It's a 12-fret guitar. He said he gets less than 10 of these a year, but they custom did it and shipped it in. I got it within a week.
Wow.
That's
In a pandemic.
That's more than I can say for Apple.
Well, that's great. Yeah, it is such a.
Oh, beautiful guitar.
We are waiting for that book too. We want.
Yes.
Man, I want to write the book, but I'm kidding. I will.
You have time.
Oh, well,
I'm looking at you right
is
now. I
there
can
ever
tell
time?
you.
That's the one thing. We're foolish if we think we have time. You know?
Right.
Fair.
No time like the present.
It's no time like in the moment.
Yeah, that's true.
My new guitar, y'all see that?
Yes,
beautiful.
very
Beautiful.
nice.
Let's make sure I
Take it. Yeah, get some photos of that, Rody.
Yeah.
It sounds great too. Let me just hit it for a minute.
Sure, warm up.
It's cold, you know. My hands are cold too, so
Yeah.
Okay, let's try this. Song is called Honest Love,
Honest Love.
and that's all I can say about it.
This is the first live performance on our podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, is it really?
It is.
Yeah.
I'm
Happy
excited
to do
about
it.
this.
I'm proud to do it. Everything I've been through should have changed addresses. The mistakes I made should have laid me away. Had way too many wrong guesses. But at my lowest point, when all the world could see me naked, I found people really do want to love. I think people really do want to love. Well, if they can see inside of you all those parts that tell the truth, I found people really do want to love. But the death here makes us common in this life we're trying to live. Dressed up in our happy faces, still learning how to forgive. Inside we start to crumble, 'cause a halfway look at who we really are is all we're willing to give. But I know people really do want to love. I think people really do want to love. Well, if they can see inside of you all those parts that tell the truth, I know people really do want to love. Well, we're living through the same damn things at many different times. If you're still playing hide and seek, take a look, we're all dying. Ain't nobody leaving here alive. Well, we're living through the same damn things at many different times. If you're still playing hide and seek, take a look, we're all dying. But I found people really do want to love. I think people really do want to love. Well, if they can see inside of you all those parts that tell the truth, I know people really do want to love. I think people really do want to love. I know people really do want to love. Inside of you tell the truth. Inside of you tell the truth. Inside of you tell the truth. Inside of you tell the truth.
All right.
Awesome.
Excellent.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First live performance.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
I got my adrenaline.
Yeah. Yeah.
Excellent job.
Thank you.
Well, that was
Man,
an excellent
see-
song.
And that is why I stopped.
I
Yeah.
wholeheartedly
Written
understand.
and
that.
performed by Kevin Todd Walker as Flash Newman.
All
There we
right.
go.
There we
Excellent.
go.
Well, we are looking forward to seeing you continue your journey
Mm-hmm.
and maybe come back once COVID is over and play some of these venues here as Flash.
Yeah.
That would be an amazing
Yeah.
full
Y'all
circle.
come see me.
Oh, we
well,
will.
we will.
Without a
We'll
doubt.
be there.
I get to
100%.
do that.
Front row.
Nobody's ever booked me. You know, and they
We'll-
can
we'll
book me,
change-
but
we'll help
I'm-
change
now,
that.
you know, but I would make the choice right. I'd come to my music
Yeah.
before I would never trade love for money again.
Good.
And just take that advice, you guys. Throw some blankets in your car. You know, if you're out at McDonald's, grab an extra $1 cheeseburger, keep some water bottles, whatever, and just
whatever, man.
be kind.
Just think about you, because you'll lose that suitcase, baby. I'm promising you.
Yeah.
No matter what you think you're going to do to kick its butt, you'll lose the suitcase and get humbled. So remember that when you see the homeless.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're good people, a lot of them. Especially if they're clean. If they're junkies, just offer to get them help.
Right.
You can tell.
Yeah.
But not everybody's a junkie, so don't treat everybody like a junkie.
Absolutely.
You see me raise my voice.
I think that's
whoa.
true. Yeah.
See me get passionate.
Of course, it's something to be passionate about.
Because I was not a junkie, and the people that didn't help me, I know who they were. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but I love them.
Yeah.
We got to love them through it.
It's true.
Yeah.
Thank y'all for having me.
Thanks for coming here.
Thank you
I
for
really
coming.
mean it. Thank you.
The general manager of the Dallas Fuel. How are you today, sir?
Great. I'm doing just fine. Thanks for having me.
Hey, thanks for coming on.
No problem.
So with every close to a season, whether traditional sports or esports, we lose quite a few players. However, the Fuel in their off-season have gained quite a few players as much as they've lost them. What can people look forward to with the new additions such as Fielder, Rappel, and then the newest one we have today? I'm going to butcher his name, but his sign name is Jecse. I don't exactly know how to say that, so if you want to help us out.
Yeah, definitely. Jecse. Yeah, for sure.
Jecse.
Yeah, his name is Jecse, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so, I mean, just to answer your question, basically, yeah, I mean, obviously there was a lot of major roster moves we made here. Every season is very important to us, and this season was no different, and we had an opportunity, where we had the time and able to kind of almost start fresh in a way with our roster. And, we kept one returning player, which was Doha, and one coach, which was Young. And basically, we realized we had an opportunity that we heard from the Paris Eternal that we were able to make a move bringing in, first off, we were trying to finalize our coach, right? And that was one of our big things, was to bring in a really solid head coach, and Russ was our guy, and we know from the success we had, or he had with not only with Paris, but with his former team Element Mystic, we're really excited to have it happen. And it just so happened that we were also able to grab a few more players from Paris and from other places, which happened to be players that Russ had already worked with, either on Paris or Element Mystic. So I think it's a really exciting time for us. I think all of our fans are incredibly excited about our future. I mean, nothing's for sure right now, obviously, with, how the season's going to turn out, but we're definitely very excited for sure.
Right, exactly. I mean, I was about to talk about that. So along with the new players, Fuel have re-signed the assistant coach, Young, along with signing new assistant coach, Aid, and then they also, like you just mentioned, picked up Rush. So what's the thought process of bringing in these coaches? And obviously the players with the coaches is the best formula, but what can people look forward to with that?
Sure, definitely. I mean, first and foremost, since we were starting kind of anew with, a brand new structure and staff that we're looking at, I think the first things first is to finalize that, right? It's a good foundation to start with. And I've always respected what Element Mystic did in contenders. I always research and watch contenders. And that was one of the reasons we went with Doha and Young, for last season. And, with that, after the season ended this year, I talked a bit with Young. I let him know that I did want him to stay, and we wanted to, and then we noticed that Russ was, available to us, and we basically kind of jumped right on that. I mean, it's an opportunity that we know that it's a head coach with a lot of experience, has won championships before, and took a team in the Paris Eternal from a very unconvincing team to one of the top teams in North America. And, it really just, to us, it was kind of almost a no-brainer. And then not only that is once we were talking to Rush, he wanted to bring on, aide, which also he had a great effect on his coaching roles. And I think that was the biggest impact for us is like, once we solidify a solid coaching staff, we can kind of go from there and start building our roster of the players.
Right, exactly. Because once you've got that base of who's in charge, you kind of let them kind of cherry pick how you want to go. And obviously you guys would have quite a bit of influence as well, but you kind of want to have that coach allow him that freedom to put together his dream team, essentially.
Yeah, and that's something we want to make clear is that, obviously when I talked to Rush and we got him on board, I want to hear his thoughts and ideas, and I want him to be the one crafting the roster he wants to build. I mean, he also, he's a head coach. He has the experience. He has the professional game knowledge and everything else. So we definitely wanted to give him all the best ways we could for him to build the best roster. And I think we've been doing that. I think he's been very much happy with how we have been working with him. And like at the end of the day, this is his choice of what roster he wants to build. And of course, myself, I would like to think I have a pretty good eye for some of the stuff, but like I said, nothing, gets by Rush. I want to make sure me and him are under the same page, and I think we've done a great job so far. And obviously with Mike, our owner, Mike Ruffale, he's obviously there to make sure we're able to do these moves and work with the entire organization and make sure we can make moves from a financial basis as well, of course.
Exactly. Now, Mike, aka Astro, has been very vocal about bringing championships to Dallas. Obviously, he did so with the Empire. He's doing so with other brands. So, is this squad the one to bring the Overwatch Championship home?
So, quite honestly, nothing's for certain. You can't. To be honest, with the Overwatch League especially, just like any other league, I guess to start off, I mean, MV as a whole, as an organization, has always been about winning and trying to bring home championships. Our accolades speak for themselves. Even in Overwatch, before the league started, we were one of the most successful, if not the most successful Western team, ever there. We were the first team to ever win in Korea, on Korean soil, and we've done a lot of success even in Overwatch. So, but with that said, yes, obviously with the Fuel, we weren't able to bring that for the first few seasons, but I think with this new look and what we're trying to build, yes, I would want to say that this is what we're striving for, is to bring a championship home. But like I said, nothing's for certain, nothing is guaranteed, because at the top level, at the league, you're going to see some fierce competition. You're going to see a few top other teams that are going to, there were so many hits or misses and predictions of this year. For instance, like the Shanghai Dragons were looking almost unbeatable, and they come into the finals and they fall a little short, and that stuff can happen. But obviously, our motives have always been to win and do what we can. But especially with this roster, it does look promising, and I just want to get back to that winning space that we've been used to, right? So yeah, I would say it's definitely a team that can produce championships, and obviously that's what we're going to be looking forward to.
So my next question is kind of a two-parter. So with the pandemics happen, the Fuel started their season with being at home and with the fans there, and then obviously with the pandemic, they kind of went to where they could kind of do everything remotely. So sort of say. Do you think that really had an effect on some of the players, and then also do you think it also allowed them to maybe just focus a little more without that added bit of the fans? And then also, do you think we'll see fans maybe in the future? I mean, obviously we'll see them in the future, but do you think with this next season starting up in February that we could possibly see them there again? Yeah,
so regarding fans and those events and stuff, obviously, especially our fan base specifically in Dallas, and we've always known to have a very strong fan base here with the Fuel. And, being the first ever home event in esports history, in the season before last season, it kind of shows where we're at as a fan base and how great our events are. And it was a real shame that, COVID-19 happens here and we're not able to fulfill our 5 home stands we were meant to have this year. So it is a real shame in that regard, and I think the players love the support, and we've always, thrived under that sort of environment every time we've done that. And I don't think these players specifically are no different. Like these players that we're bringing in especially are, they've competed on Atlanta environments plenty of times, and they've won championships as well. So I guess with the COVID-19, it was a shame because a lot of our like our office space had to be shut down, and we have a very amazing facility here in uptown Dallas that our players weren't able to use, and they live very, very close by in apartments that they can easily commute to. So it was a shame that we had to close down that, and it's not ideal. I mean, it's very important because safety is first with us, and we want to make sure the players are always comfortable with that. So we decided to just have them play from home, which is it can be positive, but I think it's obviously for next season the plan is, at least from a practice standpoint, is we would like to have them, health and safety pending, that have them in the office practicing. As far as events go, I'm not too sure what will happen next year. I would obviously love for COVID-19 to go away and we're safe and sound and able to host events again, but not until we're, totally in an understanding that it is a safe environment for everybody involved.
Oh, that makes sense. So we have a segment on the show called Tournament of Toppings. We're trying to find the best pizza place. Where do you enjoy getting pizza from? I mean, where do you live, and then also where do you get pizza from?
Oh, gotcha. So I have been... I live in uptown Dallas, okay. So unfortunately I haven't been able to try as many places as I'd like because I haven't been able to, typically I like to go to places. I can't remember the name. There was an all-you-can-eat kind of pizza place. It was almost like almost like a Fogo de Chao Brazilian Steakhouse-esque pizza place, and I can't remember the name of it. That place is very good. We went pre-COVID for that. I wish I remembered the name of that one. But as far as like ordering stuff, I don't mind my Zalat is always a good place to go. There's always a quick and easy good place. I enjoy that place. They have the sriracha sauce, which I do really enjoy. But also Pie Tap's quite a good place. They also have some quite good pastas there as well. So I have a few places, but I always do. That's one of the things I do like to do. Is typically one of the shame, like we moved to Dallas. And my first esports event was actually here in Dallas in I believe 2012, and it is a real shame. Like once I finally got here to live, I was very excited to finally be in our local market here because we were in LA for the league for 2 years straight, and finally get here and COVID hit is a real shame because I didn't really get to experience the city as it should be. So I'm really looking forward to all that. So maybe I'll have a better answer for you later on.
I believe so. I've been inside the office, but you guys were under construction at the time. Mm-hmm. So I think it was 2 floors down is where you guys were before, or was it a floor?
Yeah. Well, it was. I visited it. It was the second floor, and then we moved up one, and we own the whole floor. So it is. You definitely need to come out and check it again. It is pretty. There's still some stuff being. I know Mike basically is building out his office into like this massive game center, stream center. It's ridiculous. He posted on Twitter and I was like, man, when did I get one of those? Like I'm still out here in the regular space. This guy's building a spaceship for himself, but I mean he earned it, so for sure. But you definitely come out. It's an amazing office.
If you guys will have me, I'll come out there anytime. So I have no problem.
All right, great, fantastic.
Great. Yeah. No, I did see his Twitter tour of. It wasn't the offices. It was his office. And I was like, is it cribs? What is this entire house? I don't know what's going on right now.
Yep, exactly. I saw it. I was like, all right, Mike, when are you going to lift off or something? Right. Yeah, that was great.
Like, so this is why we can't sign these players because all the money's going to your office.
Yeah, well, I will say this, I think our players have a fantastic space as well, to be fair. I'm very excited for them to get here in Dallas, and see the facility we have for them, because I think any player who ever comes to our organization in general, has always seen an amazing facility for them to train out of. And, we just have that mentality is that, one of my main primary jobs personally is just to make these guys as comfortable as possible so they can just focus on the game as much as possible,
That's honestly what it should be, which I also met. So you guys have a great guy on staff. He used to work with the Mavericks, but it's I forget his name, and I feel so bad about it. But it's the guy that's in charge of the mental health of these players.
Yeah, Mike McCrory. Mike McCrory.
And
Mike McCrory. Yep.
that is a genuine. He was at the front of it with the Mavericks, and now he's at the front of it with esports. I think that's an amazing thing because yes, you want these players to be intense and you want them to be focused on playing and what they're playing, but at the same time they need to be able to, once it's done, kind of be like let it go and like find, don't entirely wrap yourself up in win, lose. That's how your emotion is. You also need to just let it all go once it's done, and then regroup, and then come back again.
Precisely.
So,
Mike McCrory, sorry to get you off. Mike McCrory is great for our distance, and that's something that I believe like Mike Ruffale, Castro, and myself, and any other person in our team ops has always strived to really work on, because we've all Mike being a former pro gamer in Call of Duty, like he and I also have seen years ago when esports was very underdeveloped and there wasn't that much anything. There wasn't much of anything. People were just playing out of their homes. That's how it used to be. Tournaments were very few and far between, and you'd go there for a $500 paycheck if you won the whole thing. And these things now, it's we have a mental skills coach. We have, and since for our team, we have a translator her name's Helen, and she's fantastic. And as well as Mike McCrory, all of our staff members are really helping support that, and we're also, always trying to help them with their physical health as well, to help them, because all these things are very important. And, even myself, obviously, at this point, we have a Korean-based team, right? And, myself and Mike McCrory and some of our other staff members, even though we have a translator, are learning Korean. I've picked up a bit here and there. I lived in Korea for 6 months, but I'm properly focused on trying to learn Korean just to kind of be able to understand it myself. I think it's a very valuable asset to have, and I generally do really care about a lot about this team, so I hope that'll also help me, do my job better.
Right, exactly. Plus, learning another language is always great because then you just kind of almost like finding out a new puzzle and trying to figure out a way to go around.
Exactly. Communication is a huge thing to work on all the time.
So if people want to follow you and the Fuel on social media and see what the new signees, see what when you guys start, how can they do so?
Yeah, so if they want to follow us, the best way is probably via Twitter, on twitter.com/DallasFuel or just @DallasFuel. And for me personally, it is just @Tazmo, Tazmo. That's the gamer tag I got going for myself. And we've got a lot of updates. We've been very active this off season. Not done just yet, so definitely keep tuning in. I'm sure we'll have some more news for you.
Oh, I like to hear that. The kind of one to ask these guys is, where did Tazmo come from?
Tazmo, honestly, it was weird. I was a big fan when I was a kid of Tasmanian Devil.
Oh, yeah,
and from Looney Tunes and stuff, yeah. So Taz was a big thing, but I noticed there was actually a very famous CS:GO player called Taz. So I was like, I don't know if I can do that. And then I think I just found it off of I just saw some other name with Mo on the end of it, and I was like, I'll just combine the two, and it doesn't mean anything specifically. It just kind of sounded cool at the time, and it's kind of just stuck. So we'll take it.
Yeah, there's a famous pro wrestler named Taz as well. So
also that too.
After the Taz, yeah. Well, you could have put 2 Z's on yours if you really wanted to. So.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. I remember before I got myself verified on Twitter and all fancy, I had to add 4 Z's just to make it weird and different. So we'll take that. I'm glad we got that set up. Yeah.
Well, Matt, thank you very much for your time, and I look forward to seeing you again and maybe give me a tour of the new offices.
Definitely, you're more than welcome, and I hope you enjoy. And thanks very much for the talk.
Hey, thank you, sir.
Cheers.
Thank you so much to our guest, Flash Newman. Man, you are an inspiration. We were so happy to have you on our show. We hope to have you on again. Matt Taylor with the Dallas Fuel. Every time you come on, it's a joy, and we can't wait to cheer on our Team MB. What a great episode.
Love it. That Flash interview was absolutely inspiring and amazing, and if people don't want to go help other people after that, then...
you have no heart.
Yeah, go check your brain.
Honestly, okay, so at the dollar store, you can get blankets for $1. Those hand warmers are like 50 cents a piece. Things like that can keep somebody alive.
Mm-hmm.
Just do it.
And I think what's most important about what Flash said in his interview, people have this stigma of homeless people, and it's not true.
Mm-hmm.
Like, are some homeless people, drug addicts? Sure, of course, but there are regular people that are drug addicts, alcoholics are here all the time, like people have problems, but being homeless is not always, it's generally not a choice. No one is like, oh, cool, I want to go not have a house. Like, no one in the history of ever has been like, oh, shelter? No, that's not one of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. It's the number one hierarchy of needs. Mm-hmm. Just, they're people. You gotta remember that. And you want to be, you should want to be a good person and help your fellow man.
Right. And if you're not comfortable with money, give them your old jackets.
Right.
Give them your old blankets. Something that will keep them warm. Give them your old food.
Ask them what they need.
Ask them what they need. Ask them, they are people. And that's the number one thing that we need to remember. It's not even the Christmas season anymore, but we need to remember to be that giving all year round.
Right.
And it is cold. It's about to get cold.
Yep.
Cold.
It actually does get cold here in Texas, and it's usually around this time. So,
dollar store gloves,
yep.
Dollar store socks, dollar store shoes, all of that can make all of the difference to somebody. So,
make sure to go out and eat local, drink local, and
go rediscover your city.
Tag us and send those pictures over to us on Facebook, Arlington Citizen Media, Twitter, ATX Citizen Media. Tag us on Instagram, Arlington Citizen Media, and send those pictures the old-fashioned way. Email arlingtoncitizenmedia@gmail.com. Also go to our website, www.arlingtoncitizenmedia.com. Don't forget to subscribe and give those 5-star reviews of the Downtown at Apple Music, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and also hit us on SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, and YouTube.